Okay, recording started. Hi, Silas.
Hi, Laurie. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I've had I could get emotional straight away. I've had quite a tough week. It's been it's been a difficult week. I learned that on over the weekend that on Friday, somebody that I know, I can't claim him to be a really good friend. He's a friend of a friend, but I've known him for a number of years, and we always got on very well. And
Mm.
he's stayed at my house a few times in the past. He committed suicide on Friday,
Oh no.
and I mean, ostensibly he lost his work over COVID-19, and there's no real prospects in his line of work, and he just became overwhelmed by the situation. Is what I've heard, and there's been some other setbacks as well. I mean, there's been a lot of bad news in the theatre world. A number of projects that people were trying to set up have been pulled again because of uncertainty about the winter. And I know there's, and also my mother is in a care home, and things have been very, very tough for her over the last 5 months because she, throughout lockdown, was restricted just to her room.
Yeah.
And the only contact we've had is by telephone, because she's not somebody who can use technology, so I don't get to see her face. And then a month and a half ago, or so, no, about a month ago, they started to open up visiting, very restricted visiting, under kind of social distancing rules, and I'm only allowed to go and see her for an hour at a time. And it's been very hard because you have to wear a mask and gloves and stay 2 meters away from her. Her hearing is not good, so you can imagine it's quite difficult. But now they've started to close those visiting things down. Now only one named person from the whole family can see her regularly, which is me, thankfully. But that closing down, the kind of putting more restrictions after starting to open things up, has had a very detrimental effect on her. So I'm starting to hear in her voice that she is becoming depressed and starting to, I think she's starting to suffer mentally. So it's been difficult. It's been a difficult week.
Sounds very, very hard.
Yeah, I think that what's very difficult about this situation for everybody is not knowing about an end game.
Right.
It's very hard. It's very hard to work on anything without an end game, I think.
Yeah.
If you know where you're going to, you can kind of prepare yourself for the journey to get there.
Yes.
But as things progress and you get some little shafts of light, and then those shafts of light are shut down and more confusion arises, it becomes very difficult, So it's been a tough week.
Yeah. Sounds tough. So, is it all right if we just spend some time in this space?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that it would be good. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of knowing where you're going, last week you started with your vision, and I know you were going to do with that, and you probably haven't had the chance to do that. So we're just setting.
I did some work on it, actually. I did some work on it. It's been good. Yeah.
Well, let's just spend time with a friend and your mother and whatever else is going on in you.
Yeah.
So that was a lot.
It's quite an introduction to a session, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I've been feeling obviously sad, but also quite anxious. I mean, one of the hardest thing for me being an actor is the uncertainty about my profession, which means the uncertainty about the thing that I do and have been doing all of my life, which I love so much.
It's part of your identity.
It is. It's the central part of my life, really.
Yeah.
you know, in terms of work. And of course, I know how to work around situations, and I know how to keep myself afloat, and I'm doing that. But when you're not able to do the thing that you're born to do, after a while, that the uncertainty around that, and if that will ever, you know, start again, and how it will start again, that uncertainty kind of, it eats away at the core of you, because there's a large part of me that feels that I'm not doing what I was born to do, and I don't know when I can next do it, or if ever, you know, because of course the profession will open up, of course it will, but there's a long line of people, you know, looking for very, very, very reduced amount of work,
right,
you know, and that uncertainty, I've been dealing with it well for the last 5 months, and I do deal with it well. I have done over the last 30 years, but as that uncertainty grows, it becomes more difficult to hold on to a sense of self.
Right. Can we do some sort of introspective body kind of work? And I'm thinking off the top of my head, playing with like self and uncertainty and how those interplay, something like that.
Yeah.
So just close your eyes, if you will. Get yourself in that centered place. Just take a couple deep breaths. And take yourself back to your center. And just tell me what you notice there, anything you notice.
What I can kind of envision in my center is it's like a black hole. A very dark black hole.
Yeah. Can you see the edges of it?
Yeah, it does. It does kind of look like a black hole in space, so I can see the edges. I can see things kind of, it's got a kind of brown rim to it where things are falling in, and then it's very black.
I'm wondering if this is what represents uncertainty, or is it something else?
I think it does represent uncertainty. I think it represents a sort of anxiety, because it feels like things are getting sucked into that. It almost feels like the rest of me is trying not to fall into it. That makes sense. So that does feel like, it feels like uncertainty. It feels like I'm holding myself from not falling into the well, and that's becoming more and more difficult.
So there is a strong pull.
Yeah, which is quite frightening.
Yeah. And energy consuming, I'm getting?
Very energy consuming, yeah. I've been quite exhausted over the last few days, actually.
Yeah. What else do you notice in your body? Other places?
I have some pain and some tension in my thoracic spine. It's quite a sharp kind of pain in my back.
Where do the emotions start from?
It actually feels like it's in my back. I want to say my heart, but it's not. It's kind of in the back of that thoracic part. It feels like there's a knot in my spine, and I think that's where the emotion feels like it's coming from.
You're willing to explore that knot?
Yes,
And
willing is an interesting word. Yes, I'm willing to go there for this exercise because I know it'll do me good, but I'm frightened too, in a way.
Anything you need before we go there?
No, I'm good.
Okay. This knot, how big is it?
It feels like it looks like a very dense, small knot. The thing that's coming to mind is it looks like a piece of iron ore that's kind of wedged in my vertebrae.
Okay.
So it's very dense, very black, silvery edges to it. And it feels like something that's been kind of wedged in there.
Just observe it for a moment. This wedge of iron ore-like thing. That's there. Is it, how static or dynamic is it?
It's very static. It's lumpy. It's interesting just to look at it actually, because there's something about looking at it that makes it reduce. It's now lost its silveriness. It's become a little smaller, but it's becoming more dense. But it feels very static. It doesn't look like it's moving.
How's that pain that you first identified? Same? Different?
Much the same, yeah.
Let's take a really big deep breath and see what happens.
It feels like it's spreading outwards a little bit, but not increasing. It feels like the pain feels like it's kind of moving around the back of my lungs. Yeah, it feels like it's kind of just a bit less intense in that spot where the lump is, and just spreading a little bit out around the back of my lungs. So now it feels like it's kind of lining the back of my lungs.
One of those crazy questions. Feel free to answer it however you want. What's it trying to tell you?
The words that just come up, it's saying, I'm in control. Of you.
For the sake of?
The word that comes up is power. I don't know what that means.
Okay. Power for what?
Power for laughs. is what it says.
Power for laughs.
Yeah.
For the purpose of?
Nothing.
And is that laughs like sarcastic? I'm doing this for the laughs, or I'm trying to get.
Kind of. Yeah.
I'm messing with you because it's fun.
Yeah, exactly that.
What's your feeling about it? You know, what characteristic, like ominous, evil, jokey? What's your view of this energy that we're talking to?
This might sound strange, but what comes to mind immediately is the government, the people in control or not in control. That, you know, I think, yeah, it's kind of equating to, of course, this will be my view, but this is what's coming up for me. It's equating to this very poor leadership who it feels like are toying with us.
I see.
That's what's coming up for me. And immediately that comes up, I feel a kind of empowerment and anger. Like I want to get this thing out of my system.
Great. What do you feel like doing with it?
Just immediately, like shaking it off. Getting it off my back. It feels like some kind of creature on my back.
A really deep breath, like all the way down to your pelvis kind of breath.
Ah. Ah. Oh. That immediately feels better. What came to mind was that it felt like it suddenly that I had the image of a big bat that was actually like over my back. Its wings were over my back. And the pain was it kind of gnawing into my back. And now I've shaken it off and it feels like it's just slipped down the back between me and the sofa, but it's much smaller now and it's frightened. And I'm going to lean against it and squash it. So
what's happening with the bat?
It feels like it's much smaller. It's trapped between the small of my back and the sofa, and it feels frightened.
Yeah.
I think, I feel there's still a lot of sadness there, which is not a bad emotion. But there feels like the anger has turned into a kind of empowerment.
Mm.
There's a lot of anger that seems to have frightened that bat.
Yeah. How's that black hole doing?
Huh. It's kind of filling up with green.
Green.
Yeah. It now looks like yeah, it's still got some blackness to it, but it's not a sucking endless darkness. It's a bit like looking into a lake that's dark, but there's greenish hues there, and it looks like a surface rather than a hole that goes somewhere endlessly. So it's got a kind of viscosity to it, and it's something that holds rather than drops.
Nice. How might that serve you? Be helpful to you?
Well, now it feels like it's, because I can see it as a kind of a lake, as a surface of water now. Still the same shape, still round. But the kind of the brown rim now looks like a bank, which is green. I can see grasses, and so it looks like something that's actually life-giving as opposed to energy-sucking. Or something at least that's alive, rather than something that's dead or dying or sucking the life out of. So it feels empowering, actually.
Great. So it's like a lake with a bank and life, green.
Yeah. And actually now I can see green. There's a lot more green in my vision.
And I can't help but ask about trees, knowing how much you love trees.
Yeah.
Are there trees around?
I can't see trees, but it's the same kind of, there's an equation to it. There's that green grass is the same kind of green as leaves. It feels like it's starting to feel like a peaceful, natural place now. It's very green. The blackness is really lifting.
How's your back? Thoracic spine area.
That's much better. That little bit, that piece of iron ore feels like it's starting to look like a tiny speck now. It's not gone away completely, it's there. It's tiny. It's tiny, it's like a little speck. I'm not feeling the pain so much. My shoulders are more relaxed.
Good. You ready to come back?
Yeah.
Take another breath, take your time.
Wow. It's interesting because I still feel a lot of sadness, obviously, but I feel quite a lot of anger now. That not You know, I say there's good anger and there's bad anger. There's things that you get angry about which are motivating.
Yeah.
And that felt like a very motivating anger that stepped in and took control of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I feel a little tentative to go into politics because politics is subjective, you know, but I'm going to because this is my session. If I weren't aware that these are recorded sessions, I wouldn't have any tentativeness, but I'm going to go there because I think it's important for the session. I think the thing the anger, I've been feeling defeated over the last few days and terribly sad and anxious. But the anger that came over me was an anger that actually really stamped on that piece of iron ore and what became this bat that was on my back, gnawing away at me. And it's a kind of a healthy, motivating anger. I'm angry about this situation because the truth of the matter is that, you know, yes, my mother is a very vulnerable person and she needs to be taken care of. So I understand the restrictions, but it's very difficult to walk past the pub on the corner of my road every day and see it full of people.
Yeah.
That feels deeply unfair.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's very, very bad management at the top of that.
Yeah.
And the economic situation is one that, yes, it's an extremely difficult situation for any government to take care of, but there's a lack of assurance, there's a lack of reassurance, there's a lack of help that is driving people to despair.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling very sad for my friend, but I feel angry for him too.
Yeah.
On his behalf, I feel angry. And that's you know, that's quite a motivating emotion to have rather than a diminishing emotion, which I've been feeling over the weekend, one of despair.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of residue stuff here. I know this is not completely cleared up, but actually it's good to recognize that anger was something that stepped in to help me in that exercise.
Yeah.
Stepped in to actually take control because it felt like that creature was controlling me and it was controlling me for laughs. And I think that's what I feel about, you know, I feel very strongly about the situation with the education system at the moment because my niece is caught up in this. And it just, you know, over the weekend, I've been feeling like, you know, this Gavin Williamson and Boris Johnson have been having a laugh at her expense, you know, and not taking responsibility for dreadful mistakes. And she's been through a lot.
Yeah.
And her future is very uncertain. And the future of young people is very uncertain. And it's not just because of the, you know, because of the situation with coronavirus, which any government would struggle to deal with, I appreciate. But this goes on long before. A diminished system, a diminished education system, you know, Brexit, a future that is being taken away from young people for a long time. And that's affecting young people in my family. And it just, you know, the situation of the weekend made me feel like you are having a laugh. So it's kind of interesting that creature was, you know, the words that just came up were like, I'm in control. And you said, for what purpose? And I said, for laughs.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to control me for laughs because it's a giggle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this feels more motivating because I feel angry. I'm not sure what to do with that, but it diminishes the despair.
Great.
Yeah.
Great that you found an empowered place.
Yeah, it's empowering. Yeah.
Not going towards commitment, but just what could you do with that anger? To channel your empowerment and anger and.
Honestly, I don't know. Right now, I don't know. I know that it's helpful to The thing that's coming up for me actually is information. I struggle sometimes with, getting involved in the media because I think it's, the whole thing is a propaganda machine right now.
Yeah.
And reading newspapers it's not healthy. I don't watch television. I don't watch the news. I sometimes read articles, but I am reading articles in my own echo chamber. I recognize that. But there is something that's coming up about information. What I do is I read books by historians and political writers that I know, I trust. But there is something in there about, the word that's come up is information. So there's something in there about talking, about conversing. I'm not quite sure what to do with that, but it feels like there's a responsibility for all of us to begin talking and talking about things that are difficult between us, rather than shying away from stuff. I'm not quite sure what to do with that this week, but
yeah,
there's something about going towards rather than coming away from. Ignore them.
Say a little more. Going towards rather than coming away from.
Like I said, I tend to stay away from news because I think, quite often it doesn't help a situation. When I do read articles, I read articles for information. I want to know exactly what's going on. But there is a danger in staying away from information, which is that we put ourselves into a kind of a bubble, into a kind of privileged bubble. Yeah. And then that prevents us from having informed conversations with each other. Yeah. And that is something that authoritarianism relies upon. It relies upon people not speaking to each other. Yeah. And this kind of divisiveness in the country at the moment means that one side refuses to speak to another or listen. And there's something in there for me about, actually, we need to open up conversations. I'm not quite sure how that can apply to, to my situation this week, but it feels like I don't want to shut myself away from what's going on. I don't want to move away from it. There's a part of me that wants to move towards. I want to find out. I want to learn more. I mean, I have been reading more about British history recently. I have a vested interest because my mother's Indian. And, we all have a responsibility at the moment with the debate about anti-racism that has been coming up. There's a huge responsibility for us to learn our real history. So, I'm reading a book at the moment about the truth of the East India Company in India. Something I already know about, but so many people in this country don't know about. Yeah. So there is something in there about actively not just seeking information, but sharing information, actively having conversations. So what I mean is, like, not shying away from talking about these things. Yeah. Which I think is a danger in this country.
Yeah. You said something, it may have even been when your eyes were closed, or maybe it was just, I don't know, about politics. Like there's a hesitance or a rule that we follow that we shouldn't talk about politics. Something like that.
Yeah.
And if this weren't recorded, you wouldn't have any hesitation. You said that, but now this is out there, there's a lid on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you spoke to, I recognize it in myself and many other people, but do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So talk to me about your version of that, the lid that says you shouldn't.
Well, I mean, I don't feel that I have a lid on me that says I shouldn't.
Okay.
I think in that moment, I was hesitant to bring something into a session that I know is being recorded, because my views may or may not offend some other people out there. There may be people who support, the government, and I don't want to cause friction in an audience that is watching something. However, it's my session, so but I think that all of us. I think what's important is that we take responsibility for each other. as a nation, as a people, which means talking to each other. What this government and what lots of governments across the world do not want us to do is they do not want us to talk. So they pursue the politics of division,
right.
So that one side becomes patriotic and the other side becomes treacherous. And then it becomes very difficult for those two sides to speak without fighting. And actually, it's our responsibility to speak amongst each other and listen to each other. I'm not saying here that it's my responsibility to get other people to listen to me. I also have to do the difficult thing of listening to other people. To views that I might not agree with. So it's difficult at the moment because we're not actually sharing a great deal of time together. So, I was immediately thinking about family gatherings. We're not having them right now. But those kind of things where you get together as a family and there are differing views around the dinner table and you tend not to go there because people go, oh, don't ruin the dinner. There's a part of me that says, no, actually, this is the time now that it's very important for all of us to do that difficult thing, the thing that the government doesn't want to do, and talk about the stuff that is painful, so that we can find cohesion, that does not allow our leaders to divide us and rule over us because of division. So I suppose naturally I get tentative about speaking about politics because right now it's very divisive. But I think actually the thing is that we need to move forward and take the lid off that. One of the things I found deeply shocking this week was somebody I know who is a writer and involved in a theatre company, very prestigious theatre company, was on a big Zoom call discussing, because people now have to bid for the money that the government has promised to the arts. They have to bid for money to keep their companies alive. And he was on a Zoom call, this writer, with 15 other people, one of whom was a government minister. And they were putting in their bid for money to save the theatre company. And the government minister said at some point, so if we give you this money, we do want things in return. And there were 3 points, 2 of which were just, it's to do with industry things. But the third point he said was, we would require you to create shows and plays that shine a positive light on Brexit. So he actually stated that, we will give you money if you become part of our propaganda machine. To artists. That to me is a terrifying situation. And it makes me extremely angry.
Sorry, I'm speechless over here. I don't know.
It's really shocking, isn't it? It's really shocking. That's one of the things that this week that I have found overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because we artists are in a very, very, very difficult position. Our livelihoods and our raison d'etre is on the line.
And now you're being made puppets.
And now there are, this is word of mouth, but I have heard of a situation where, people are essentially being blackmailed into being part of a propaganda machine.
Yeah.
That situation is unspeakable, and it goes totally against the grain of what artists are here to do. Artists are here to express themselves and their opinions, not those of other people.
So you found a vein of power, a source of power.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah.
Is often fueled by anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those two run alongside each other well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have a voice, a beautiful voice, literally. You have a studio.
Yeah.
Wanting to put these things together somehow?
Yes. So just very, very rapidly, I did some homework on the visioning last week, which was great. I had a really good day yesterday doing some work with the recording studio. I had a lesson last night with my teacher, which was great. I'm working for the rest of today, but I can't work tomorrow on the landscaping job because it's raining. So tomorrow I'm going to be at home and I'm going to do some more recording work. So I think what would be really good, because I'm putting together these little sections of books, and I'm choosing different kinds of books to put together sections of recordings. And I think what would be really good actually is to find a book that expresses me, a political book, and I can think of the one straight away that's on my bookshelf, and take an excerpt from that as a recording. One of the different excerpts. I'm doing lots of different excerpts. So, I'm doing a children's book. I'm doing lots of different bits and pieces, a novel, a cookery book, just to kind of have different flavors that I can put out there on the website. So I think it would be great actually to use this empowerment to find a passage and record something that is hard-hitting and a statement.
Yeah.
And put that out there, because then, people who are looking to have their books recorded will hear me, in essence, taking a stand. I think that might be really quite interesting. So I'll do that this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does that feel to all of you?
It feels really good, actually. It feels really good because, I think what's good about that, I think it's very significant. I think about what do people want to hear when I put these excerpts up.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be a bit diminishing. Obviously, I want to appeal to people. So if people are writing children's books, or they're writing character books, or they're writing novels, then I want them to go, oh, he can do this kind of work. But it can be a little bit diminishing because you're kind of doing things for other people. I think it'd be good to put some excerpts out there that are saying, this is who I am.
Yeah.
That will resonate and will probably be a bit easier to do.
Yeah.
So that feels like something very engaging and empowering.
Engaging and empowering. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Will that image in your center where we left that thing that turned from black hole to the lake? Right? Yeah. Was it a lake?
Yes. Yeah.
Because it had the surface. Yeah. Would that image be useful to you?
Yes, very much so. I mean, I can definitely see that, and I think, yeah, I did some drawing from last week, and it was really fun to do that, because it's good to. I'm very pictorial, so it's good to kind of go to an image. So I think I can definitely do a drawing of that lake as a kind of inspirational image.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now we'd set aside your vision.
Yeah.
Because we needed to go to this other place.
Yeah.
We only have a few minutes left, but what do you want to tell me about the vision now, and then we'll hear more about it next time, if that's okay.
Yes. So I just very, very quickly, I can hold this up. I don't know if you can see that.
Slowly, fully, purposefully, lovely.
That was what I could see when I was. Those are the three colors that came up. I said, you asked me about colors, and I could see green and blue.
Yeah.
And of all of the words, this was what I could see, this very, very, very broad horizon with this fence. I did this very shortly after our last session, just to keep that image alive. Because I know you can do these visualizations and then they can fade away.
Yeah.
And of all of the words that I wrote down, slowly, fully, purposefully were the ones that jumped out of me from my notebook. So I put those on there, and I've kind of kept this with me whilst I've been doing my recording work, which has been really good, because it does slow me down. It slows the anxiety down. I think, oh, I haven't done enough, or I need to do this, or things are getting in the way. I look at this and I go, just take it slowly, do it fully, and do it purposefully. Whatever you do, do it purposefully. So I've kind of had that on my work desk, and it's really helped, actually, because it keeps that vision. And the other thing that I've been doing this week is just starting to collect images from magazines of the kind of place that I would like to live in the countryside. I got a picture of the barn, you know, where my studio will be. So I'm just, you know, and that's not something that's something that was an ongoing work. Just I'm constantly looking through magazines and things and starting to build what will probably be a mood board or a scrapbook.
Okay.
It's kind of like visioning of where I've been going.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's en route.
Yes. It's an ongoing thing.
Yeah. Okay. And so last week when you started saying you want to create a vision, this what you're moving towards slowly and purposefully, is that getting you towards what you were asking for?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It means different things to different people, but I remember.
Yeah, what it's actually doing, what I'm finding that it's doing is, because that vision was very much of a feeling, and the exercise we did was very much of a feeling exercise. And at the moment I'm dealing with a lot of feelings, you know, emotionally it's quite a bumpy ride. So what helps with this is to get me back into that feeling, the feeling of you know, that kind of slow, purposeful knowledge that I will get there. You know, and actually it helps me to get into the feeling. And that feeling, once I've found it, helps me with the work that I'm doing, learning the finding my way around the home studio.
Great.
Learning the technology. That's what works for me, rather than, you know, I use images to get back to that feeling inside. You know, of like, okay, now I'm not feeling stressed, now I'm not feeling angry, now I'm not feeling anxious. What I'm feeling is peaceful and purposeful, and I can, you know, then it clears my head and I find it easier to do the things on the computer that are not easy to do if I'm in that emotional, stressed place.
Sure. Yeah, stress and computers and things don't get along so well, do they?
They don't get along at all. No.
Yeah. Good. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks. You're welcome. So next time, let's touch back in on the progress of the vision and these books that you're going to be recording and your Mondays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Laurie. That was really very clearing. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Thanks. Great.